Hello everyone and welcome to 3 Times a Gamer. So today's format is a little bit different in that, well, I haven't got the camera footage today. So the reason for that is basically I'd like to talk about the announcement of Pokemon Let's Go Eevee and Let's Go Pikachu, but also talk about Pokemon Quest. So as opposed to doing how I normally would, which is a full gameplay of the game from the beginning, I thought, why not give you my opinion on both of the games in one? I've played a little bit of Pokemon Quest, so I can give you my opinion on the game, as well as show a bit of footage on here and go over the trailer of Pokemon Go. So I think we start with Pokemon Go as that's the big one. Now, I haven't played a Pokemon for probably 9 or 10 years. The last one I played was on the DS as opposed to 3DS. I've never owned a 3DS. So I can't even remember the name of the last Pokemon I played. But as I say, it was a DS one. It was the first game on the DS. So I think that was probably Generation 4, maybe 5. That's what I would say. But the only reason I stopped playing it is because I didn't have a DS or 3DS to play it on. But I used to love Pokemon. I adored them. I had them from the very first one. I always had the first of the titles. So I had Red in the Red and Blue. I had Gold in Gold and Silver, for example. I don't know why I always went with that. There was always the ones I preferred, so I always went with that anyway. And my brother went with the second of the titles. I never went with any of the joint games. But that's a brief background on my history with the Pokemon games. I had Pokemon Stadium as well and a couple of other ones. But yeah, I love them and I've missed playing them. So when Pokemon Go came out last year, the year before, whenever it was, the year before I think, I really enjoyed that for a little while. You know, I loved that it was classic because, well, silver was my gold and silver was my favourite, but the classic Pokemon still hold the most, special place in my heart. So it was good to go back to those Pokemon Go, but the game did get boring rather quickly because there wasn't an awful lot to do and it was buggy. But the thing I always missed about Pokemon Go was the battle system. So it was never a true Pokemon because of that. So let's go Pikachu and let's go Eevee. And I just realised something, that I'm actually going to break my trend because it's let's go Pikachu and Eevee, but I'm actually going Eevee, which is the second one. So I'm breaking the trend there. So a different Pokemon game, a different trend. Even though that isn't the intention by myself. But basically, from what I understand, is the capture system in this is Pokemon Go style. So instead of battling the Pokemon, you throw the balls at it and you catch it like that. You also walk into Pokemon instead of having random battle encounters. However, they have brought the battle system into it from the mainline RPG Pokemon series and the story as well. It's also a remake of the very first initial Pokemon. So that's made me very excited because it's got the main elements of the Pokemon RPG series, but done as a bit of a simpler way. So get back into the series, and it's the classic Pokemon, either only classic Pokemon or majority classic Pokemon. I'm not 100% sure, but it's focused at least on the classic Pokemon, and I think it's a great move to get people like myself back into the main Pokemon games without going too deep straight away. I mean, it wouldn't have bothered me either way. But I still think it's a good idea, especially because they've announced that second half of 2019 is the next generation of Pokemon games of the main RPG series. So we'd have two options essentially: is wait for that and have nothing this year, or have this extra little game. And yeah, it's got me very excited. I can't wait for it. November the 16th is the date, and yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. Graphics while they aren't, substantially improved, they're not fantastic. I can see an improvement from the last 3DS game. They are a bit more shinier, neater. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's a good idea. I do really like the idea that you can dress up your Pikachu or Eevee. I do like that idea. Um, I like the idea that they're present with you all the time. It's your Pokemon personally, as opposed to just being in your ball. You've got Eevee sitting on your head, Pikachu running with you. Um, as well as riding on other Pokemon as well looks really good. I know you could do that in the other Pokemon games, but the last ones I played didn't look as good as they do in this. Um, but I should also talk as well, actually, about the little Pokeball accessory they're coming out. Very tempted to get one, but I've got a feeling it'll be quite expensive. I heard that it's $50, which is a lot of money for a round plastic ball with an analog stick. Okay, it's a bit more advanced than that, but essentially that's what it is. But I might have to get it. I'm not sure yet. But but it just makes me wish that something like that was out when I was a kid, because I would definitely have loved that. But I think that's the great thing about Nintendo is, though, it's for all ages. I kind of liken them really to the Disney of gaming, really, for me. But yeah, I think if we move on now to Pokemon Quest, so that was released today as a free-to-play game on Nintendo Switch, and I believe mobile as well. I'm not sure if the mobile version's out yet. So looking at the Android Play Store, I don't see Pokemon Quest on there yet. So either it's not going to be on Android, and it's only on iPhone, or it's just not out on mobile devices yet, and it's on Nintendo Switch first. But anyway, it's a standard free-to-play game model, really, in that you've got a certain amount of energy to do your moves as such. So essentially, you do a level, and that will use up one of your energy points. It takes half an hour for you to get one of those back, but that's real time. So you turn it off and then go back to it half an hour, you can do another move. But as you complete certain quests, it's like scenarios, for example. I don't know, catching 5 Pokemon, for example. That may well give you an energy boost anyway to get that back. Or you can also pay in-game currency to refill your meter and do it faster. You do get in-game currency given to you daily and for completing certain conditions. But of course you have got the options, I believe, to buy it with actual cash. As it's free to play, they need to make their money somehow. But it does seem quite generous in the stuff it gives you so far. It looks to me like a lot of what you can purchase is more about making things happen faster, as opposed to not being able to get it at all. But essentially it's a little kind of RPG-ish game, a bit like the likes of Xenoblade Chronicle Battle or Dragon Age Battle, in terms of your characters will go up to Pokemon and they will battle for you automatically, their main attacks, but then you have special attacks that you click and then they have to cool down to use again. So you those will give you like an area attack or a stronger attack, or might give you a bit of a shield. So essentially it's a little bit of an RPG, but a very basic one. So the characters that control themselves in terms of their movements, you don't control them, but you do select your party. You can put on runes to them to make them stronger or give them more health. And that basically accumulates to a score that you know that you may be able to do that level, because if it's well out, if you're going to a level with a much, much higher score than you've got, it's not likely you're going to beat it, because you'll be fighting Pokemon that are too strong. But it's also got a little cooking mechanic, a bit like Zelda Breath of the Wild, really, is that you put some ingredients into a pot, they will then cook and produce different results depending on what the ingredients you put into it. But instead of giving you like health or anything like that, like it does in Zelda, instead it attracts certain Pokemon. So different meals will attract different kinds of Pokemon. So you might be able to attract a fire Pokemon by doing more red ingredients, or water-based Pokemon from Blue Ingredients, that kind of thing. So there's no catching Pokemon or anything like that. They come just by cooking these different meals. So it's yeah, just a little additional game based on Pokemon really, and it's done in a blocky style, a bit like the likes of Minecraft or what's that? Is it called Blocky Road or something like that? I can't remember, but it's a pixelated art style anyway. But I found it quite fun. I played it for an hour, hour and a half, something like that, and I found it a fun little game, a fun little distraction. I've got a lot of other games I'm playing right now, so I may not well play it that much at the minute, but it's something you can go and play quickly and leave it and go back to it another time. It's just one of those casual games that you can play here and there, really. So, for a free-to-play game, I don't know if I'd spend money on it, but free-to-play, it's certainly worth a shot. I think I've pretty much everything about it. It's quite bare bones, but fun. It's better than their Magic Card Pokemon game they did on mobile, anyway. What else can you do on it? You can buy decorations that gives you bonuses to how many items might drop and things like that. You assemble a team of 3 Pokemon to do your expeditions, as opposed to 6 in the main games. But you can choose which 3 of your team you want, so you swap them out for the best results. It does tell you on the level you might get a bonus if you have a certain type of Pokemon element, so a fire one, if there's a lot of grassy Pokemon, for example. So there's a little bit of strategy to it, but not compared to most RPGs. But yes, it's a fun little game. But all in all, a good day for Pokemon news that's made me very excited for the end of the year and for next year. But also made me very excited for E3, because while I know, pretty certain that Smash Brothers is going to be heavily featured during E3, I've got a feeling they're going to give us some more information about Pokemon, maybe show the game in action properly. That's as in the Let's Go games. So yeah, fun times ahead for Pokemon. I know it has had a bit of a bad reaction from some people, but I think it's going to do well sales-wise, I really do. But anyway, I will leave it there. Thank you very much for watching the video. Please give your opinions down in the comments below, what you think of these 2 new Pokemon games, especially Let's Go, Pikachu and Eevee, what you think to it. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thanks again, guys. Bye-bye.